Can you see yourself?
Yes, I can. I feel
Are
like
you
I'm
happy
an
with
eye
yourself?
doctor. That is such an open-ended question. Don't do that. Also, aren't you going to elevate? Oh, we shouldn't.
Elevate?
In some way.
What do you mean by elevate? Like elevate you?
Well, you know, I like to elevate other people. Are you? Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off.
No. We were talking earlier, and you said something about an emotional to-do list. What did you mean by that?
Okay. That there's certain that I always think that I have to change most aspects of my personality, and so I focus on changing certain qualities, and it might be like per week, or like I'll have a list of what I want to change about myself. That's the emotional to-do list.
Okay.
And then sometimes it may take me 6 months. Sometimes it may take me a week. But, and then also each week I think up these concepts of like what, where I think that certain behavioral patterns are coming to a head. And I think, you know, I really have to work on that. Well, like...
So emotional for who? You or the poor souls you're interacting?
Well, I think it's both, because I think that if I, you know, evolve, then the emotional atmosphere will be better.
So give me an example of like an emotional thing on your list.
Okay, well, this was my concept this week. Because, you know, okay. Well, I had a couple things going on this week. One was that, this is an overhead thing to say, umbrella comment, that for me to really facilitate the change, and maybe I'm the only one that is like this,
okay,
but I have to give myself permission to change.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just the way it goes. So
permission to what? To
like, okay, this is what's going on this week. That I can be robotic in my behaviors, especially in dialogue.
No.
Are you with like emailing, texting, like sexting, and also interacting with cashiers and interacting with like people. We're not focusing on that, but interacting with people.
Sure.
That I can be robotic, where I let them make the lead. So like this week, I gave myself permission to stop texting if I'm doing like a sexting dialogue or a texting dialogue, to stop first.
Okay, so
Instead
you're
of
just teasing them?
How is that teasing?
You start a sexting dialogue and then you decide to stop?
No,
I don't
it's
understand.
that I don't have to be, he doesn't always have to be, I don't always have to be the last one to stop.
The last one to stop.
Instead of always waiting for him to respond, and then you always respond. Like, I am always responding to them.
You always have to have a last word?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's, okay. That's not always a good way to be.
Okay.
That's not good.
Okay.
Because then you're, like, waiting. It's like a form of mercy.
Sure.
Like, you're, okay. And then at my store, my market, like, they would be like, hey, want to chat with you? You know, they want to chat. And I gave myself permission to either not chat, like not initiate the conversation, because I'm always like, well, I don't want to be unfriendly.
Okay.
And also, like, I don't want to smear my unhappiness on them. So, like, they might expect me to be funny, so I should make some sort of joke or compliment them. So I
So
gave
you don't want to
myself
smear yourself?
smear my unhappiness on them.
Okay.
They're not, I mean, why should they be adversely affected for my internal emotional chemicals?
Okay.
Or emotional cocktail?
Okay.
Why should they be adversely affected?
Okay, when you use the word smear, emotional cocktail is not what I have in mind with the word smear, but go ahead.
Should I say emotional shit or something? Smear?
Well, it was subtle before, and now it's just too blunt.
You brought that up. Okay.
Okay.
So I gave myself permission to either, like, wave. Like, you don't have to engage in conversation with every single person that's ever crossed my path, or,
What,
you know.
you tend to do that?
Oh my gosh. And then I also gave myself permission to walk away from conversations first.
Okay.
So then that was going on this week. The other thing is that 2 people called me this week that have a pattern of putting me down.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's not always nourishing. It's not always a good way to start your day.
Sure.
So this one person kept calling me like every day for like 2 weeks. And I wasn't picking up because I'm like, this is not a pattern I want to enforce. And then I just did it because it was like 2 weeks of calling. So I picked up the phone. And that happened twice this week with 2 separate people where I just picked up the phone. And then there was they made negative comments to me. And I thought, you know what, you're a volunteer. I volunteered for that. Like, I am a volunteer for the put downs by picking up the phones. Picking up the phone. There's not multiple phones.
So you are
So that's on my
providing a
emotional...
service to society by being a pincushion for other people.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way, but I was just thinking that that's on my emotional to-do list, that I need to stick to my guns more. And even if someone calls 10 days in a row, that's their story. That doesn't mean I should pick up the phone and then be put down.
Right.
Because I'm volunteering to be put down.
Right.
And that's
So
their
there's no
their choice to call me 12 days in a row.
Well, maybe they're not aware of it, but it's your choice for self-preservation.
Also, I think that if you're around people that are putting you down and you volunteer for that, but even if you're not volunteering for that, like if it's like a boss or someone that you have to associate with, I think it becomes like a normal. And then that's when I was thinking this week about how that can become a normal. And then when a guy is nice to you or a person is nice to you, you start to react like it's the exception to the rule, when really I think the ultimate is to create a life where the person that's rude to you is the exception to the rule.
Okay.
How much time?
It's right there. I don't know.
Okay, so we are going to talk more about this another time.
Okay, sure.